Snoop said he never seen a publishing check. Is it because they took us publishing, or is we really don't know how to calculate publishing and where's it coming from and how do we receive it?
Or did he sign it over?
It's a lot of stuff that's going on. So,
ain't that what lawyers are for?
Yeah, but I mean, lawyers are playing the game too.
If you can afford one.
Yeah.
And whose lawyer is it?
Playing the game.
Too many people use the wrong person's attorney.
Yeah, some great lawyers out there, but again, they dealing with the bad math, and they work for you. Like we can't tell a lawyer. I mean, the lawyer can't tell us what to do. They work for us. So if I want that deal bad enough, he gonna figure out how to get it as best as he can for me not to get robbed to get in that position.
But at the same time, if he's getting a percentage of that situation, he might just encourage you into it so he can get paid.
Yeah, that's true.
But the way I be looking at it too is like we had mad examples of artists' deals going wrong, right? They get jerked, whatever the case may be. They may not have the bread to get their own lawyer to read over their contracts and stuff like that. But then the labels on their side continue to take advantage.
Yeah.
For the most part. And then when you have these distribution services that are out, the Spotify's, the Audio Max, all these different distros that's saying, yo, I'll give you 80% of your profit. And I'm just gonna take 20.
So that's what I'm talking about with the bad math. Like, why can't I get 100? You know what I'm saying? But they want to make.
But in contrast to a regular label deal.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. I would rather go to a distro and say, I'm gonna upload my own music, I'm gonna save my pennies.
Yeah, but now you have to compete with people who have budgets that dwarf your whole.
Right.
You fine. Yep. Go put out your as much as you want, no problem. And it's the equivalent of selling out of the trunk in front of Juniors on Flatbush Avenue while you're underneath a billboard of a dude who's got their own.
I don't agree with that. You know why? Because you got TikTok, you got Instagram,
there's millions.
That labels are looking at that
Playboy
as a leverage to make a deal.
But that don't equate to nothing.
Exactly. The labels have that on Smash too. They have the money to go do that too. They have the money to go trick the algorithm too. And that kind of money is a write-off for them.
Right.
And they there's no place you can go play where they can't pull up
I'm in a
with a bigger bag.
moment where I feel like we don't control the algorithm like they say we do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's where I've been. Like when I search for artists, I don't touch nothing that's got something to do with some analytics or algorithm because I'm gonna find the kid out here. He talking about the Summers kid. Like I ain't trying to go on TikTok and hear his music. He gonna play it for you. Like I'm trying to get the diamonds. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to.
All that stuff could be manipulated.
I might get that A&R job afterwards.
and the cap is so heavy. It's so heavy.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me like, yo, you need to get this artist on your platform. I'm like, click.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 million followers. Okay. Let me see the video. Click.
Yeah.
Oh shit, this shit got 6,000 comments? Really? Clicked on the comments, scroll.
You pay for those.
Scroll. After a while, it came to one comment that was posted thousands of times.
That's crazy.
And I was like, damn.
You've been rat fished.
If I didn't just
rat fish.
If I didn't keep scrolling, I would have thought this person was
lit.
Fire.
They do that on the gram too.
And I'm showing my girl, I'm like, look at this baby. This shit crazy right here.
Yeah.
One comment, like 2,000 times.
Yeah. I didn't have to learn my lesson either. You'll go to these shows like Rolling Loud and all that, and this dude's popping on the gram, and then you see the crowd and nobody's moving, or he don't have the crowd, or he wants to go on tour and he getting a 1,000-room venue and he sold 10 tickets, and then he canceled the tour. So I know what that's all about. So I'm like, I'm not buying into none of that. Like I can't go for the 40 million on TikTok and all that. Like unless it's a superstar is moving. That's where it get a little tricky because it's like, we watching the analytics of the artist doing something and they're just copying it because he's the star instead of new people coming up. I just can't. It's too easy, bro. Yeah. Anybody can get on the TikTok and get busy.
How do you feel about streaming farms?
It's cheating. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's cheating.
Perfect.
but you can never really tell where it's coming from or who's working for you. Period. You know what I mean? Because somebody, again, like you can go on the gram and post a picture, right, of us together. He can go and get one of the websites and put 10,000 likes on there and turn his back. And you never know. You know what I mean? So we don't know never where it's coming from. I can be like, yeah, I got 1 billion streams. We don't know where it's coming from. We don't know if the person just randomly wanted to be like, you know, put out a joint.
200 phones in the basement.
Yeah, it's like, who hired them? Why they
like,
doing it? Oh, how I get that? You know, we all used to get hyped like, oh, our views is going up. But you naturally know it from the content and the people that you're running into and you see.
Right,
That's the only way we can really find out what's going on when people in the streets.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I noticed that's what you did, because once he mentioned Shy Summers, you asked your man.
Yep.
You from VA, yo, you heard of this person?
That's right.
So that keeping your ear to the street, that's the organic way.
The artists be the last people to know, unfortunately.
Yes.
The artists will be the last person to know. You can be in the building, really think you're doing your numbers. Somebody in the building hired the farm. Yeah. You didn't know. It's a little note in your budget, little $10,000 note in your budget.
Yo, there's a nigga with a ski mask coming at the back door, collecting an envelope. Y'all ain't going back into the basement.
Was there more money involved when there was actual physical CDs, or is there more money now with the streaming?
That's more money with the streaming.
Is there more control? Was there more control with because if all right, so if you do a stream, and say I don't know how it would go, what a CD go for now $15 or something,
depending on where it's $10, $7.
With a stream, you would get the majority of that, because like with a CD when we were in the game, I understand from when y'all were making CDs, you probably made 90% of the profit.
Yeah, so you speaking from a streaming side, making money, like on a label side or independent?
All right, independent, because now that the physical CDs have been taken away, you have no more control. Like you could be your own record label back then when you had the physical CDs, because all you had to do was get an artist, and if you wanted to sell 50,000, you had to get 50,000 CDs. You know what I'm saying? You want to go gold. So
the production line, to answer the question, and not to cut you off, the production line is different. And what I mean by that is it costs $5 to make a CD, right? You sell it for $10, $15.
10 cents.
And you gotta add, everybody get paid from it. With the streaming now, I'm seeing people get money like Mozzie, Money Man, all these guys independent, Dolph, rest in peace. They was getting huge amount of money just off streams because it was indie. The money scale is different. You're not paying.
You got to get it from them. They send you a check or something.
Yeah, so you're not really paying for a lot. It's no real, besides giving him his publishing. Yeah, the overhead on the production line is different.
Right.
Like it costs all that stuff. You got to get covers. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, hey, some of these kids just put a picture off their gram on their joint and they be popping. You know what I'm saying? For the cover. So like the production line, like the money's different than when you had to go through all the stuff you had to promote and all that. Now you just sit it up there and then you'll wake up one day and the kids knight you. You the new rapper. Now your streams through the roof. You know, Aiden Ralston came on there and said you were this hottest kid out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Next thing you know, everybody's calling you and you're doing every podcast in the world and then you just got hot. That's just how the shit happens now. Kids wake up and night whoever they want and they good night whoever they want. They'll be like, yo, he ain't it no more. He's it. You know what I mean? So that's just how it is now. But you're making money. You're thinking about how many, just think about in our color, how many black people got diamond records right now. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. We wasn't seeing that shit back then like that. A diamond plaque?
Yeah.
That's crazy,
Small
bro.
percentage of artists.
And multiple. Like Cardi B got multiple diamond plaques.
Right.
That's crazy.
But did it mean more back then?
I don't think so. I think a diamond plaque's a diamond plaque.
Right.
No,
but it's due to streaming now.
Nah, I think it is.
How many streams does it take to go diamond now?
That's tough because again, we in
Like
bad
100 billion?
We in bad math.
Yeah, scale.
Right. You don't know
what
what it is, what equates to what, right?
That's why I disagree. Outkast went diamond. That means all those people went and brought that.
But not necessarily. They might have shipped diamond and just
No,
that's
no.
diamond.
Even if they
diamond.
shipped it, that still means those joint. The need was out there to ship that many, which is why I think it's different from a click.
But a
I
group
think a
that you,
physical is different from a
a
click.
group that you're not familiar with, you hear went diamond, you're probably gonna go investigate and see why they diamond. So that's gonna add to the sale.
But again, that's a click. That's a click. I can literally go on YouTube, click the one song, but I know that song, and then never go back to it. As opposed to having the physical thing in my hand. As collectors, it's
I'm
coming
willing,
from.
I'm willing to argue that and challenge that only because if we go on by the actual outcome of what's happening, Outkast sold Diamond, they had 60,000 people in the crowd. This kid's going Diamond and having 60,000 people in the crowd. He making the same amount of money. They making the same amount of money or more. So I'm willing to say that Diamond back then meant something from an honor standpoint more than it meant equation, because you got, again, Coachella got 100,000 people there. If Uzi Vert is doing that and he got the whole people moving, or when you saw DMX did Woodstock and they went crazy, it was what it was. I'm happy to see LL Cool J, I'm Bad, or like we talked about Shook Ones or whatever, go Diamond, because it was like, hey, we never got that chance if streaming wasn't here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's quick in the same way. Like, you're going to see the same amount of people if they do a festival right here on 125th and they left the street open and it's 100,000 people out there in comparison to now.
So,
It's just
so
the
the
same
streaming
thing.
extended the shelf life.
I think so.
But didn't we just get finished talking about a dude who's at Coachella, who doesn't move the crowd, but he got millions and millions of likes?
I'm just talking about the people that's really selling Diamond. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's talk about
Right.
let's talk about the people
Not the
that's
other
really
guys.
selling records. Like the headliner and the paid is because they're looking at, yo, if he's that headliner, we selling out our concert. You see Playboy Cardi at the headline,
Facts.
done.
Sold out.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
see Drake up there, done.
Right.
You see, you know what I mean? It's just people that you see at them headlines. It's like, oh, we're paying them the best money because it is what it is. And they went diamond, you know, most of
But
them.
these are people who I think would have also, just the names you're mentioning, the people who I think would have excelled in that other time period.
That's a
In
fact.
the time period of CDs.
That's a fact.
Which is why again, CDs for me
That's a
equal
fact.
more of a commitment from the buyer than just clicking on something and then it's not tangible.
Yeah.
You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
You don't
That's true.
own it. You don't have it.
That's true.
If I go to any
You don't have to wait in the cold for it.
I agree.
if I go to any producer, any dude who's a vinyl digger, like goes after the vinyl, I say I can get you the exact same record, but it's digital.
Yep.
You'll never be able to physically touch it. You'll never be able to physically do anything with it. And I'm gonna take the real one you got, and this one will last forever.
Right.
They're gonna tell me,
I'm gonna side with you on that. Physical definitely is better.
and
But
that's where
remember,
I get it.
Remember what Drez was talking about as far as the lawsuit? Right? So I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there's a class action lawsuit in, right? That Drez from Black Sheep is spearheaded. Right? So what happens is artists pre-streaming, right? There was a clause, right? He said inside of their contracts that stated any unforeseen occurrences, right? As far as the music is concerned, the artist that signed whatever said contract with the label is supposed to get 50% of their sales.
Right.
So Drez's argument with this lawsuit is, how is it that we not getting 50% of our streams? How is it that you selling my shit for
On streaming
0.1
platforms.
on streaming platforms? Who's in charge of this? So essentially they're suing the major labels.
Yeah, streams
That's
didn't
how it
exist when they signed their contract. So now that streaming is a new thing, there was no renegotiation.
Right.
Yeah.
So Drez's thing is you're licensing my shit to a place that we never talked about.
Where
we never
when they were
discussed
selling
anything.
physical copies,
Yeah.
they was getting that bread.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree with that.
You understand
For
what I'm
sure.
saying?
I definitely agree. Again, that's bad math. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit. Like
I don't know if I like that term.
bad mathematics. I'm gonna go there.
It doesn't make it any better. It's somebody in Wu-Tang man. It's time to mathematics.
Take a break or
Yeah. Let's take a 5-minute break.
This hot full trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf you heard.